Okay, we are recording. All right, we've just looked over the handouts that you read and highlighted, handouts 9 through 12, and now we're going to talk about the questions you did on page 162, which also was for a daily grade. So number one on page 162, who are the two most important leaders of the Republicans during Washington's administration? Okay, what do you have, Hayden?
Thomas Jefferson and James Madison.
That is correct. Any question? Okay, remember that. So these are the two leaders of they call them Republicans here. I don't like that because that may be confusing with the Republican Party of today, which didn't get started until the 1850s. The proper term would be the Jeffersonian Republicans or the Democratic Republicans, is what they were called. Democratic Republicans. So they just shortened it in your book to Republicans, but don't confuse the two. They were the Democratic Republicans or the Jeffersonians. Number two, why was Washington's proclamation of neutrality in 1793 not popular with either the Federalists or the Democratic Republicans? Neither side liked it. Why? So now you have to tell why each side disliked it. What do you have, Sarah?
The Federalists didn't like it because it didn't accommodate Britain, and the Democratic Republicans didn't like it because it didn't accommodate France.
Right, exactly. So each party favored a different side, and Washington wasn't taking sides, and so he didn't favor either side, so both sides were upset with him. Any question? Everybody understand that? All right, number three, what was the most important result of Jay's Treaty? The most important result. Caleb?
Averting war with Britain.
Exactly. Kept us out of war. Not for long, but at least for a time. All right, next we're going to look at an event that was a very important one internally for Washington's administration, and that is the Whiskey Rebellion. So could someone turn off the lights and we will view this section.
What is this? I'm an officer of the government. We know who you are, Mr. Tax Collector. You're out here from that damn government, Philadelphia. You picked the pocket of the last farmer in these parts. You can't go against the law. He's an agent of that devil Hamilton, and he's going against our law, the law of survival. We work from dark to dark around here, mister. And when we harvest our wheat and rye, there ain't no way we can get it back across those mountains for cash, less than we turn it into rye whiskey first. And now you come out here demanding we pay you and Hamilton for the privilege? Well, sir, you're going to make us pay in blood first. Take off that wig and pour on the top. Don't do this. A warning to any other rich distiller of what will happen if he pays that tax like this bastard did. Please, for God's sake! You've already burned a still. A still you can rebuild. This he ain't never gonna forget. I'm the President's Revenue Commissioner. I have a right to defend myself and to enforce the law. Come on, I get the hell out of here. Damn you, Neville, Neville ain't just stealing the bread off our table with that damnable whiskey tax. Now he's spilling the blood of decent family men. It's time to give him a dose of our justice. Listen to me. I'm as mad as you are. But we can't take the law into our own hands. You with us now, even, or against us? With you, damn it. But we don't shoot first. Jeremiah, you still our captain?
Hell, we're in this together to the end. In this fight, no bloodshed lest they start it. All we want is Devil brought to justice.
You're right, man. You're right. George, hey!
House! We want Devil. Send him out. He's not here. I order you men to disband.
We intend to make a citizen's arrest.
This is an illegal armed force. You're here in violation of the law.
To hell with your law!
I tell you, Neville left an hour ago. He left here on horseback.
Liar! Come on!
No, men! He's a major in the army!
Maybe he's telling the truth. He's lying in his teeth. He's got Neville in there. Let's go get him! No!
Make ready!
You've got the captain killed! This is madness!
He's a magnificent animal. Strong forelegs make a great jumper. I'd buy him. If the price wasn't so high.
Whoa!
Mr. President, there's been an uprising in the Pennsylvania frontier. The farmers are in rebellion against the whiskey tax. Men have been killed.
My God.
These rebels have united to make a formidable army. They've tried to draw Virginia into the revolt. Next down the mountain chain is Kentucky. Who knows where it'll end?
Made every effort to right their grievances.
We cannot let these rebels defy us, Mr. President, or the nation will fall apart.
What's the purpose of becoming a nation if the people don't support their own laws?
Too many of our people lack faith in the central government.
How do we build faith if the laws are not enforced? Federal commissioners must be set empowered to grant amnesty if they stop now.
What if they refuse?
I'll raise an army against them.
I tell you, Mrs. Hamilton, if the president makes me second in command by sending our commissioners packing, the rebels will be forced to act. This could be a conflict that will prove the need for a powerful government.
I don't want you to go. You have so many enemies who would end your career, even your life. If anything should happen
Don't
to
worry
you.
about me. Fine. You are worried about, little one. This rebellion must be crushed. The United States will be no more.
And why?
Hamilton. Wait.
Now that when you were all brave Yorktown.
I see. And
I know, dear. Aren't you pleased it still fits?
could be let out a little in the frontier here. Oh, no, it's not too bad for a man my age.
A man any age. The children were so excited to see their grandfather go off to war.
It's not a war. It's a campaign. Years. Can't believe it. 20 years ago, we were the rebels. When we reach this Carlisle rendezvous, I'm afraid I'll find only those who support my policies. Instead of an army that represents all of us.
What if the frontiersmen won't back down? It could mean civil war.
Well, I'm leaving Mr. Randolph. Wait. Be vigilant with young Wash.
I know I still indulge, but this time I promise to keep it back.
And don't worry so much about Nellie. Heck, she's just growing up. What? I'll be back before you know it.
Godspeed.
Welcome to your new army, Commander-in-Chief Washington.
Thank you, Governor Mifflin. Or should I say General Mifflin, commander of the Pennsylvania militia.
You will find us homes to a fine edge, sir. Ready for battle.
God willing, it won't be necessary.
Will you review the troops, sir?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it amazing, sir? Men of all walks of life, high and low, even the most rabid Jeffersonians, have rallied to support their president.
We are a nation again, Mr. Hamilton.
Where's your commanding officer? What in God's name is this? A war between New Jersey and Pennsylvania?
They fired first, sir. We had to defend ourselves.
What were your orders, Colonel?
We were to patrol the flank and make sure the rebels didn't surprise us, sir.
The rebels are 100 miles away, damn it! General Washington, how are we to know they were not rebels? Look at these uniforms.
Well, we don't have society bells to dress us up like toy soldiers, General Mifflin.
Enough of this. We're here to awe the rebels, not fight with each other. Reform your men and carry out your orders, Colonel.
Yes, sir.
Did you, sir, give this order to charge these shadows in the wood? Sir, they did not identify themselves. I cannot fire a governor from command of his own militia. Sir, fortunately for all of us, your young men on horseback at this poor marksman, no one was hurt. If you had had your own flank riders, General, this never would have happened. Sir, no more excuses, General. Get your troops back on the march. This is a serious business, Colonel Hamilton. Of course, sir.
So why do you think Hamilton was smiling? Michaela?
You like to see Washington take charge like that?
Yeah, just like the old days, right? Just like when they were fighting during the War for Independence.
What can I do for you, Mr. Reddy, Mr. Finley, Mr. President? Sir, we are the Western Pennsylvania Committee of Safety. We rode all night, sir, to get here before you broke camp. Go on. Tell me. We want you to call off the march of your army to the frontier counties to prevent any further bloodshed. Sir, people of consequence favor submission. But some wilder elements not only oppose the excise tax, but all law and government. They never thought you'd send an army against them. Well, they should have known better. Sir, if an invading army raises resentment, the situation could explode all over again. I understand your concern, gentlemen. You would have me order this superbly trained, ready to fight army remain in camp while your committee of safety tries to decide what it's going to do. Come now, gentlemen. This army is here to march and fight, not vegetate. Sir, if you would... What, sir? We want peace too, but sir, I want peace also. We shall have it when citizens respect the law. Mr. President, gentlemen, only absolute submission will stop this march. Ride back to your committee of safety and tell all resistors to lay down their arms now and show respect for an army whose only motive is to consolidate and preserve the blessings of that revolution which made us a free and independent nation. Yes, sir. Mr. President. Governor Lee. Yes, sir. Take command of the combined forces. Colonel Hamilton. You'll stay behind to convey my orders. Yes, sir. And carry out my policy of conciliation. Mr. Dandridge, follow with the bank.
Sir, you're not leaving your command.
Yes, I am. Lieutenant, form up the dragoons.
How can they only do that as commanding general?
If there's no war, you don't need me.
Then where could she be?
Why did Washington think it was necessary to send a fighting force out to Western Pennsylvania? Pretty drastic measure to send an army out to these Pennsylvania farmers who are rebelling against the whiskey tax? Why did he think it was necessary to do that? Was he overreacting? Devin?
Maybe to show like those rebels and future rebels that they weren't gonna mess around. They were just gonna send what they had at them. So like to
Why?
prevent future rebellion.
Okay, to head off future rebellions. What else would you say, Stephen?
Because like, isn't that where they were trading the whiskey?
Well, that's where they were making the whiskey. What they would do is they would take their grain and make it into whiskey and then ship it over the Appalachian Mountains and then sell it in the east. That was more efficient than trying to ship grain over the mountains in wagons, because you can reduce the grain to bottles of whiskey and sell it for more than you could the grain itself, which would require a lot more manpower and horsepower in order to get there. So I'm not sure what you are conveying in your answer here. He's going to where the people were rebelling against the tax because it was affecting how much money they could make from making the whiskey. And they needed to make the grain into whiskey because it was more cost efficient than shipping wagons full of grain across the mountains. So, well, why was it important for Washington to stop this rebellion, this mini rebellion in many ways? Michaela?
Because he knew that like they had already caused bloodshed, so he had if he didn't stop it, there'd be even more, and it would turn out into a whole ordeal that they wouldn't be much able to.
Yeah, it would continue to spread possibly into other states. And it was important for all the people to know that there needed to be a respect for the law. That the law was not something that you can choose to follow or not follow. Now, what was the difference then between these men who are rebelling against the government in Western Pennsylvania and the colonies who fought against England? Washington kind of alluded to that, but I don't think they didn't really give a good explanation as the difference. What's the difference between those two situations? Steph?
The colonies were fighting for freedom from like unjust and unfair laws, and while the people in Pennsylvania were just kind of fighting partly because unfair and partly because they didn't want to follow.
Okay, but that sounds kind of similar though, doesn't it? That they're fighting against unfair laws also. What's the difference? Caleb?
They have representation.
Exactly. The colonists had no representation in Parliament who were making the laws. Do these guys in Western Pennsylvania have representation in Congress? Yeah. They have representatives in the House of Representatives. They have senators from Pennsylvania. So there is the means by which they can change the law through their representatives. Otherwise, they are to obey the law. So that's the big difference. For Monday, I want you to continue reading in your text and taking notes on pages 162 to 166. And I want you to do the questions on page 166. And I want you to write those in complete sentences. All right, so read on up through page 166, do the sentences, or do the questions on 166 in complete sentences. And I'll give you the rest of the period to get a start on that.